You've heard of a tale of two cities. Well, I'm going to tell you a tale of two breaths. I am a two-time breast cancer survivor in 1992 and 2015, with a basal cell skin cancer thrown in for good measure. In 1992, I was diagnosed with stage 1 estrogen-positive breast cancer. I had a lumpectomy, chemotherapy, and radiation. I had beautiful long hair at the time, and of course, it started falling out. I saved it in a shoebox. I'm not sure why. I guess I thought I could glue it back one day. At the time, I was a litigation attorney, and I worked through my chemo and radiation. I thought to myself, is this chemo going to make me go through menopause? I'm still young. I was only 42. Will I get old and wrinkly? My oncology nurse had wise words. The people who look bad before look bad afterwards. And the people who look good before look good afterwards. And she was right. I did end up looking like my old self. And when I had completed the treatment, my life really took off. I loved to dance and started dancing again. I became an amateur competitive ballroom and swing dancer. And I got married for the first time to a fabulous man. Overall, life was good, except for my breasts. My radiated breasts seemed to be shrinking, while the unradiated breast seemed to be growing. So my husband and I named the little one Peanut and the big one Hot Dog. When I moved to Arizona from Ohio, I wanted to have a network of cancer doctors and resources in my hip pocket. Being a researcher, I wanted to learn what was available to me. So I went to a symposium at St. Joseph Hospital and asked questions. At the break, an audience member approached me. She was able to answer some of my questions. She told me, I work at Tina's Treasures at the Virginia Piper Cancer Center. Here's my card. Come see me sometime. Since I lived close by, I dropped in and shared my challenges with little Peanut and gigantic Hot Dog. She fixed me up a lovely prosthetic for Peanut and a bra to hold them together. The prosthetic, a piece of fake boob, made Peanut the same size as Hot Dog. I was golden. I had even boobs. But there were more wonderful programs at Virginia Piper. Yoga, art classes, nutrition classes, and much more. I now call that place my day camp. As I met people there, I would ask them, who is your doctor? What have your experiences been? And I always saved the information. Then, in November 2015, 24 years after my first diagnosis, I was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer in my left breast. Yep, poor Hot Dog got cancer. Although Peanut was still being good. But here's the best part. I had a double mastectomy, a free boob job. Goodbye, Peanut. Goodbye, Hot Dog. New boobs, and they are fabulous. Along with new boobs, I found the amazing survivorship community in the Valley of the Sun. We support one another through some of our darkest days. We can honestly say, I understand. I've been there. We are a sisterhood of survivors. And because of the second acts of many, my second act was born. You have probably surmised from my shoebox that my hair was a really big deal to me. Before I even started chemo the second time, I contacted Don't Be a Chump, Check for a Lump, created by Holly Rose. They provided me with a free brand new wig, which I got to pick out. What a godsend. Now I'm a redhead. And while I was at the wig store, I saw a card for Face in the Mirror, which Patti told you about. I asked the salesperson, tell me more. She said they also give away wigs. I thought I could use a second wig. I contacted them and realized a pattern was forming. Some may even call it an addiction. Each time I got a wig, I wanted another. I became a wig-anado. As you have seen, I can be a blonde, a redhead, a brunette, or even Jane Fonda. Baldness was no longer my curse, but a lovely excuse to be anything I wanted to be. Talk about making lemonade out of lemons. And I shared the wacky benefit of being bald with my hair-challenged sister survivors every chance I got. Best of all, in getting to know these wonderful wig-giving organizations, my second act became more defined. Suddenly, it hit me like a second act ton of bricks. There are lots of wonderful cancer resources available, but finding them requires research. Just seeing a list of their services on a website does not do them justice. It requires conversations. There was no one person to tell you about them, and that required someone like me. I am the one-on-one resource to tell other patients, along with short and long-term survivors, what is available. And it's not just wigs. It's free skin products, exercise programs, workshops, and much, much more. I created a backpack that I cart around with me. It contains dozens and dozens and dozens of brochures, flyers, and business cards. I can share them on the spot with patients and survivors as I meet them. I started passing out materials when I was going through chemotherapy. I would approach other women patients and tell them about the free wigs or the tea parties or whatever information I had that might cheer them up and make them happy. I call it gratitude in a backpack. I have gratitude for these resources because they have made my life happier and continue to make it happier through these survivors. So my resources are gratefulness resources. At this point, I am happy that my second act is very grassroots. I'm okay not being a survivorship bigwig. I'm just a little wig who happens to love wigs, like this one. Now, when I meet someone at the Virginia Piper Cancer Center who I can help, I tell them. When I go to the plastic surgeon and I see the woman with scared faces, I tell them. No matter where I meet women survivors, I tell them. And now I'm telling you.